want to sing that Hare Hare and that version? No, I can. That's a nice one.
Hmm.
पद्मावाळू श्री गुरु
श्री गुरुचरण पद.
हा हे गाव
विभावरी शेषा आलोका प्रवेश निद्रा झाडी उठ जीवा.
विभावरी शेषा आलोका Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivraja Astovato Sata Sistema, the Divine Grace, the Bhakti Siddhanta, Sasha Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridasa Gaur Ki Jai. Prime Se Kahau Se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Vitadhara Sivasari Se Gaur Bhakti Se Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Mahapanavadi Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Dham Ki Jai Gangamaya Yamamaya Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sama Veda Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Nitai Glory. All glories to the Son of God. Glories to the Son of God. Glories to the Son of God. All glories to Sigura and Guranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So welcome everyone to this evening session. This is a working week like this, working day. It's very challenging for someone to spare the time to be able to come to participate in the program, knowing that you have to get up for work on time, and then tomorrow is also another working day. So, practically speaking, it's a challenge. So, coming means you love Krishna, and Krishna loves you the most. Because when you have an occasion, a party for instance, and you send out invites to people, some people may give excuses. Now, but I have other engagements. And some people, although they may have other engagements, they may choose to cancel their other engagements and come to a party. Those are the people that really care for you. And so, during when someone who is very relaxed in their endeavors, in their activities, may always find the time to attend their friends' invitation. So Krishna sent us an invitation to people, and you honor Krishna's invitation to come. It means you love Krishna. Krishna is your priority, so that's an intriguing approach to your coming here. So thank you again for coming. So this evening we're taking a reading from, again, this book. This is Bhagavad Gita as it is. All of you here, you have heard of Bhagavad Gita as it is? Okay. And you have read this Bhagavad Gita as it is? All of you here? Okay. So we'll be taking some reading from this book. This is Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is the version that was commented, translated, and commented by the founder of Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Bhaktivedanta, the best of the exponents of Vedic wisdom, who left the comforts of Vrindavan. In his retirement age, when someone is 65 in America, is considered a senior. So traditionally, people retire from 65. So Prabhupada left. And people retire and go to Vrindavan, and go to Mayapur. to engage in devotional activities. So Prabhupada also, he left all of his professional pursuits and took sannyas. He was staying in Radha Damodar temple of Vrindavan. But then he remembered the instruction of his spiritual master to help him preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at the forefront of his thoughts. So at a very early age, almost 70 years, he left Vrindavan to come to America to fulfill the instructions, the orders of his spiritual master. So that's not a joke. When you're 69, 70, to travel to another country where you don't know anybody, to go and start a religious mission, a spiritual mission. And most people will not have that emotional courage to put up with that type of experience. It's like going to the unknown. Yes, it's like going to the unknown. You're 69, you don't know any place. You don't know anybody in America, and your guru has ordered you to go to America. Whenever you have money, print books, go to the West and spread the message of Krishna consciousness to the Westerners. Frankly speaking, when you're 69, you are approaching death now. It's a question of traveling for missionary activity. In most cases, does not arise. So if it's a young man who is traveling to America, that's a different thing. They look at the age of Prabhupada. And he came to the West, he came to America. He said even the people he had approached to help him for passage to America, they were discouraging him. Hey, Swamiji, don't go. You're going to die there. You're going to die on your way to America. They discouraged him. You want to do something and people discourage you, it takes a lot of guts to put up the energy to do what you intend to do. But Prabhupada was, he didn't budge despite the discouragement, despite the dissuasions. In fact, nobody really encouraged him to come to America. I don't know, maybe there were other literature, but from what I read in Planting the Seed, no, nobody encouraged him to come. Even the person who provided his passage to come, initially she told him, Swamiji, don't try this. Go to America at this your age. It will be uneventful. But Prabhupada had faith in the orders, the instructions of his spiritual master. And that firm faith is what all of us are benefiting from. Most of you who come from India to America, you wouldn't have been exposed to devotional practice if you go in India. Most of you came to America and you saw that, what? American people? They are doing this? Come on, I will also do it. So that was a big motivation. Big, huge motivation. And Prabhupada was very smart. Sometimes people think old people are not smart. Especially the young kids, they think, Baba, you don't know anything. We know. But old people, they are not always smart, they're smart with wisdom. And therefore, it is worthy of recognition, purpose, emotional courage to come to America. They should be appreciated. Without that endeavor, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been exposed to this Krishna consciousness, which is the dear need of modern civilization. Why is it a dear need? Because all of the problems that we are finding on this planet are due principally to one basic factor: identity crisis. Identity crisis means that I don't know who I am, what the purpose of my life is. And that could be really dangerous. If somebody said someone is in a particular environment and they don't know the purpose of their being there, how are they going to deal with their everyday reality? And therefore, if people don't know who they are, and even all of the marginalization we experience on the planet is because of identity crisis. All of the wars is because of identity crisis. All of the conflicts, misunderstanding, because of the identity crisis. Because in general, we tend to think that we are the body, we are the emotions, we are the impulses of the sensory modalities. And this creates a lot of incoherences in society, even in families. It's so easy to forget that I'm not this body. It's so easy. And if even you remember how to act on it, it's a problem. Correct? Is it? Is it correct? If even you remember that I'm not this body, to act on that conception is difficult, isn't it? It is difficult. If we're sincere, we know it is difficult. Because every here and then we drift to accepting that we are the body. And so we see the little child, he's just a little baby. What do you know? I remember I was doing a baptist house in Manpo some years ago, 2009, the very year I went. First time I going to India, I stayed in the movement for like over 20 years. I've never been to India. So it was the first time I'm going to India. I was going for presentations at like 5 presentations at academic conferences, and then to do a Baptist house because I'm also to take seniors. So when I went to India, all of these brahmacharis in Mayapur, they asked me, how did you survive? How did you survive? You never came to India since you joined this movement for over 20 years. You never came to India. How did you survive? I said, Krishna is there everywhere. Krishna was in my temple. He's in my temple where I joined. He's still there. So it is that understanding that the Lord is there and He needs to be recognized. The pure devotee is there. The pure devotee needs to be recognized. And anywhere you go, the Lord is also following us. He's situated also in our hearts, in our heart region of the super soul. Vishwa, Sarva Bhutana, Redisi, Arjuna. And so these are little things, but they matter so much. If people recognize that we are down these bodies, we wouldn't have majority of the problems we have on the planet. we wouldn't have most of the wars that had taken place on this planet. There would have been perhaps a better way to reconcile differences than what is obtainable now. So this Krishna consciousness is, the philosophy is not just about, making people to become detached and then go back to God. It is also problem solving oriented. It also helps us to be able to think on a deeper level how to resolve issues, how to address issues. Therefore, the worship of Krishna is all encompassing, and people who want to become free from misgivings, from misconceptions of life, from misidentification with the body, they embark on the worship of Krishna, and that is easily facilitated. At the same time, we gain so much of knowledge about the world around us, about other people, about the cosmos, and how to relate, how to put things together, how to put the dots together to achieve our goals. And the greatest of all goals is Krishna Prema Purmato Mam, pure love for Krishna. We have different goals, but then the ultimate goal of everyone, all human beings, is to attain pure love for Krishna. Why? Because that enables us to transcend this very evolutionary trend characterized by repeated birth and death. Who here wants? Suppose there is a shop in Ohio that sells old age. Who would like to? Who would like to visit that shop? You can go and buy it. Anybody here who would like to visit that shop? So we don't want to get old because by default the soul never gets old. The soul is never yoga. It's like Krishna. And therefore, we have all this plastic surgery that goes on these days just to keep face up. And when you're having the skin is falling apart, then we have to go for plastic surgery to raise it up, to look, good. That's not the problem. It's not. That's not. We don't condemn that. But then the point is, if we also take care of the bird in the cage. We're taking care, we're polishing the cage so nicely. We should also take care of the bird in the cage. And all of this will come to play by dint of the type of association that we have. Association is so important. And therefore, coming together like this, it seems like a spiritual ideology, but no, it's beyond spiritual ideology. Because when people come together, the results of their performance is always greater than individual performance brought together. And Lord Chaitanya founded the Sankirtan movement based on this very scientific model. So the Hare Krishna movement or the Sankirtan movement is founded on the basis of science. Can you imagine that? Yeah. This movement, Golokena Prema Harinam Sankirtan, is found on the basis of science. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the Sankirtan movement and wanted us to come together to have satsang, to come together to chant Krishna's names. Why? Because coming together to do anything, the results are always greater than individuals doing that same thing and bringing the results together. It's called synergy. You could go to Google Scholar and Google that terminology, said it is a model. It's a scientific model. So Lachitanya, he is the best of scientists. People claim to be scientists here and there, but Lachitanya, he is the Supreme Personality of God himself. He is the best of scientists. So even this movement, apparently devotion to him, devotion to the Lord, but he founded this movement on the basis of science. Oh yeah. And so it is important that because doing something together is always more result-oriented, even in our homes, that should be encouraged. We should come together to do some reading. We should come together to do some kirtan together in a home. This is the whole idea. And all acharyas recommend that householders will gather at home to come read the literature together. We do what is called a community of inquiry reading system. Somebody reads maybe a paragraph, and then it passes on to the next person in family. This is the way to motivate each other to get involved. And the results are always amazing because it creates a lot of devotional reinforcement for the whole family. Coming together to do something together. Because individually, yes, we may also read. What is the need of reading Prabhupada's books? What is the need of reading Bhagavad Gita? I have so many books to read. Especially for the students, they have so much of books to read. Isn't it? Yeah, but any other book that we may read, secular books we read, they help to condition us to this material world more and more. Reading the Bhagavad Gita is the worship of Krishna with our intellect. There was a conversation between Vishnu and Lakshmiji in the Gita Mahatmya. And Vishnu said that the Bhagavad Gita is not different from him. And so we don't keep this Bhagavad Gita on our laps. Just like we don't keep any deities on our laps. Because this book is not different from the Murti of Lord Krishna. This is the literary Murti of Lord Krishna in his spoken words. And because the Lord is absolute, his words and his Murti are not different. And so when we read the Bhagavad Gita, it's the same thing like we're doing puja on the altar. Therefore, we read the Bhagavad Gita with reverence, loving, service mindset. That in itself is service to Krishna. Just like chanting in itself is service to Krishna. Although the implicit meaning of the chanting is that we're asking for service. But the chanting in itself is service to Krishna. So reading the Bhagavad Gita is service to Krishna. But that service is amazing because it helps to promote our knowledge domain. And therefore, we have been encouraged to read Prabhupada's books. And so the reading helps to purify our brain fibers, our neurotransmitters, our sensory modalities. And when these are purified, we see that we have exhilaration in our everyday devotional culture. Our attachment for Krishna becomes increased. Our attachment for Sangha becomes more intense. Otherwise, we always have excuses not to go to the temple for the service, not to go for Sangha, not to go, not. It may not be overt, but tacitly we are resisting. to get close to the Lord. We are resisting to have the association that we need to have to be able to accelerate in our devotional life. And therefore, even we are not able to go to the temple regularly, or we are not able to come to have Sangha regularly, we should congregate at home and do reading together. That family community of inquiry is so important because it brings the family together, it consolidates the devotional culture in the family, and reinforces the love and service to Lord Krishna in the family. Why do I have to emphasize so much about family? Because the family is the microcosm of the community. If the families are falling apart, if there is so much of disintegration in the families, our communities cannot stand the test of time, cannot pass the litmus test. Therefore, we want our society, we want real loving relationships in our communities. We should first create that in the families. Otherwise, it becomes like a facade. And so it is important that we recognize that Krishna is too Bhagavan Swayam, that Krishna is in the heart of each and every one, and that we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. It's a family, it's a Krishna family. And reminding ourselves about this and trying to apply these basic or fundamental ground norms in Krishna consciousness will go a long way to facilitate the positive spiritual change that we so desire in our lives. It's not a big thing, being so abstract, but just little things, just coming together to read Bhagavad Gita together in a family. You do this for 1 week and you see how you radiate a better loving relationship amongst each other. You do it. Wow, just do it for 1 week. If even it's just 30 minutes each day, you see how there will be a more common denominator as the foundation of the shared leadership in the family. So we have to understand we need to keep ourselves motivated all the time. And one of the major avenues of keeping ourselves, giving ourselves self-inspiration and self-motivation is the Sangha. And that Sangha begins with the family Sangha, coming together to read, coming together to sing, coming together to chant kirtans. Because then we are invoking the presence of the Lord, presence of Lord Krishna in the family. Yes, it's already there, but when we reignite that very symbol, it creates some very powerful reinforcement. So I know for some of us who may use work as an excuse, I came back from work late, I need to work early in the morning. But we should find something. Just like we find time to eat, we should find some time to do that. Because it's very good for the family. Mm-hmm. When people think in the same way, they will act in the same way. And this does not require any. It does not require any type of specialization to be able to do this. It's a matter of, understanding. Even ordinary mundane literatures, people read together, they have a better understanding. In some cases, if the best student in the class comes to teach the class a particular topic, the students are even more attentive than the teacher. Because they know this is our colleague. And his preaching, his teaching is imparting what he knows to us out of love. The teacher may come to try to impose himself on us. But this guy is one of us. So that family connectivity is reinforced when we do things, devotional subject matters together. And it's like there's some service in the temple for one party in the family. The wife has some service or the husband has some service, and then the whole family go to perform that service. That create a better devotional reinforcement for the family. Because sometimes people tend to think that I'll do my things and you do your stuff. That's still okay, but you do want greater benefit. Do them, doing the things together. That yields greater results. Of course, sometimes you may have to motivate your children to come to the temple, but if it is not done with love, friendship, and care, at some point in time, when they go to college, then I remember the case of one of my friends in Washington, D.C. He has a PhD in economics. So I was asking about his son. His son got a scholarship to study engineering in MIT. So he told me when the boy went when he went to MIT or during the fourth semester holiday, he came back home and he sat the father down. The guy has a PhD in economics. This boy, he just starting his undergraduate program. He sat the father down and told him, Papa, see, I'm not going with you to the temple. You wish to force me to go to the temple, but I'm above 18 now. So, what we do, we have to do it with love, friendship, and care. Then it will be sustainable. If you want to do something as like an imposition, like because we are the breadwinners and we are the caretakers, America, the things don't work like that. When they are waiting when they'll be 18, and they will tell you that we are 18. But if it's done with love and care, wherever they may be desirous to come home, to go with the family to the temple, to go with the family to the devotional functions. So I'm saying this because there are a lot of cases that we don't seem to be very much cautious about the repercussions in due course from our children. We think, well, I am in charge now, you're just a little child. But the child is watching whether you're asking him or her to do the things out of love, or you're trying to just show them that, hey, look, I am the controller. Ishwaroham. Okay. And then when they grow up, then they also tell you, okay, I'm a small controller too. Yeah, so we have to be lovingly disposed. And it's not difficult to do that. In most cases, we just forget. We think we're going to be in charge for the rest of our lives. It doesn't work like that. If we understand that even your child is a spirit soul, then there's a need to properly coordinate the services, coordinate the efforts, and don't make them feel as if they are your slaves. They are your other carriers. Make them feel that you care for them, you love them, and they're your loved ones. You see, if you tell your loved ones something, they will happily execute it with love and kindness. So Krishna consciousness also implies that we have to motivate and encourage people within our settings in a loving way. And even when someone comes to our temple for the first time, we have to see how we are being service-oriented towards that person. Not just start to engage a person as they come for the first time. Prabhupada demonstrated that with his own life. At 26 Second Avenue, Prabhupada would serve all these hippies, potheads, bohemians, when they come to his center to listen to the Bhagavad Gita class or to participate in the kirtan. So Prabhupada set a very good example for us. And even little apple that he wants to eat, he will chip the apple into pieces and then share it amongst all the people who come. It's service. And therefore, when the hippies, the potheads, the bohemians, when they saw that this is an old man and he's serving us like this, some of them decided to give their lives to Prabhupada. So in a similar way, if we serve our children in Krishna consciousness, in loving, with love and devotion, with love and affection, yes, they will grow up, they will turn back to come to dedicate their love and service to the parents. So the whole thing revolves around doing the devotional practice together, if possible. Reading together. You read. The reason why you have to read and pass it on to another person to read is that creates a sense of loving community. Sense of loving community. Participation. So we have to do the things that are motivating to each everyone in the family. And that's why I'm emphasizing about reading together. When we do the needful and leave the rest to Krishna, Krishna comes to the rescue. So we have to strategize on how we're helping people around us to grow in their devotion. And Krishna will bless us abundantly. It's not a question of finding fault with somebody and we feel we're better than the person. No, a devotee does not think that he or she is better than anyone else. Just because the other person is not doing like you are doing doesn't make the situation in your favor. Mm-hmm. What if they come to start and on a higher pedestal? And I've seen also that people preach to somebody or preach to their spouse. I was telling the story about my friend when he went to India to get married to a lady who is not from Vaishnava family. And then he brought a lady to America. And he was preaching to this lady, preaching, chant. And she was busy reading newspapers late into the night, Indian newspapers late into the night on the internet. But then, one day she just thought, what am I doing? Come on. This man is doing the right thing. What is the loss? He's my husband, for better or for worse. And what is he doing that is strange? What is wrong with my mind? She decided to chant. At that time, the husband was preaching to her. He was chanting 8 rounds. But he was very service-oriented in the temple. My friend, this is not Puranic statement. Something that happened there recently. So then, one day, the wife decided she would chant. She started with 16 rounds. So she was doing that for some time. Husband was still chanting 8 rounds. So one day she became the guru. She sat him down and told him that, hey, Krishna gave you 24 hours free. We say gratis, free, no charges, no bills. And now he's asking for only 2 hours. And you're hesitating to give me 2 hours? What is this? And the husband who told me this story, he said, from that day, he started chanting 16 rounds. The wife, he was the Vardhan Pradashaka guru for the wife. I mean, now the wife became like Siksha Guru. Varna Pratachaka Guru is the first person who gave you spiritual directions. Like in the case of Dhruva, his mother was a Varna Pratachaka Guru. The first person who gave you spiritual directions. And then now the wife took it up. The husband was still lagging behind. Now she became the Siksha Guru, the instructor and spiritual master. And that's how she led the husband out of the adultery, out of that lethargy. So you never can tell. You may be progressively marching on, but we should not despise anybody. We don't know who is who in Krishna consciousness. If we know, perhaps we'll pay obeisances 100 times to each and everybody. But we don't know. That is also good. That can also enable us to become forgetful about the fact that there are highly elevated souls in our movement. And we need to be more open and understanding so that we can get along, tread on the path very carefully to be able to achieve our ultimate goal, which is to attain pure love for Krishna. So the motivating factors are, one of the motivating factors is coming together, association. And if we don't have the time to associate, we should read the books. We don't have the time to read the books, we should hear the lectures. Prabhupada has so many videos, so many audios. We should listen. We'll gain a lot of devotional insight. And those lectures, by hearing, they purify us. So we don't have excuses. There are so many infrastructures, there's so many tools available for our devotional progress. All that we need to do is to take advantage. In fact, you can download so many apps on your iPhone, on lectures, proper lectures. You can, go to the internet and download Gita-based, Veda-based, whatever. And so you don't need to carry big books like this and say, I don't have a space in my bag. You have a space in your iPhone. You have a space in your smartphone, isn't it? This is the beauty. Utility is the principle. Take full advantage of your electronic gaskets. Purify them, use them for Krishna consciousness. We're not saying don't use electronic gaskets. Use them in a way that will help to accelerate your extrication from the onslaught of repeated death. And so when we are reading, it helps us to chant better. You can try it. Read every day. You see how you're chanting, the concentration it becomes better. And if you're also having some service, that helps you a lot in improving the quality of your chanting too. And try to see that you have some program, some schedule where you can fit in visiting the Holy Dam at some point in time. People go to, different places in America during their holidays. But a lot of people, they go to New Vrindavan. I've seen that in New Vrindavan. During holidays, a lot of people flock there. That's a good way to spend their holiday. Going to the theater, going to the dam. And you can also schedule to go to visit Vrindavan in India, or Mayapur. These are the places that you go and you can feel a big difference in your devotional life. The only problem in going to these places is that to live becomes the problem. Yeah. But you have commitments, you have responsibilities, so you have to buckle up and you try to come back, catch up with your family responsibilities. I'm just, telling out of my own experience that you go to Srila Vrindavan, yeah, it's like you don't want to leave. Because the energies are completely enchanting, and you can feel the difference in your life. Difference in your sadhana, difference in your chanting, difference in your mindset, consciousness. So it's important. The Christians, they go on pilgrimage to Jerusalem and all these places. The Muslims, they also go on pilgrimage to Mecca. So we should also see how we are taking advantage of the provisions that have been made available, and make a schedule to visit Vrindavan, to visit Mayapur at some point in time. When you make that as part of one of the items on your agenda, you can catch up with that. And you see how that has in improving the quality of your devotion, quality of your practice, your chanting, your reading, your motivation for Sangha. So we have reading, we have chanting, we have service, visiting the dam, visiting the theater, we will go to the temple. All of this, they help all become more focused in devotional service. So this is the impetuses, the motivations. And therefore, we can't use anything as an excuse. We just have to think of how to utilize our limited time in channeling our energies productively in Krishna consciousness. Any comments or questions?
Yeah. You were saying that most of the problem in the world is due to identity crisis.
Yeah.
And so many wars can be avoided by
Right.
identity crisis. So theoretically we know, but you said it's very difficult to act on that during the realization. So every soul is looking for enjoyment, ultimately.
Ananda Maya Vyasa.
Yeah, so chanting may seem like boring, doing something, all these things, reading Bhagavad Gita, whereas watching cricket or this may seem very interesting and very. So that's why you don't want to, even if you have time, you want to see something which you can entertain yourself and you feel happy about it. So that's the main issue that why people don't pick up, because it's it doesn't enjoy the.
That's true. See, one of the major factors is that people don't seem to understand the benefits of reading the Bhagavad Gita. Just like you tell a child to chant Hare Krishna, and I think I mentioned this also yesterday or the day before. You tell your child to chant Hare Krishna, and then you tell him, 6 years old to chant 7, and I say, I have so many homeworks to do, and I don't have time. And I know 2 kids in Washington, D.C. Now they are in college. That's the excuse they give to their parents. Of course, I don't blame the parents. The parents didn't go to college, so they don't really understand it. So when they tell me those stuff, I just laugh because, see, I'm in the system. I'm in the academic system. That's where I operate. And so these kids, they kept telling their parents that because of homework, they cannot chant and all those things. But it's very dangerous for the child, especially when they have to go to college. The energies on campus are so compelling, and it's all sinful energies. But if the child is able to understand that even the chanting helps them to improve on their grades. So I mentioned this again the other day. And it's not a question of, it's not a propaganda. This is, it's been scientifically proven. Scientists have conducted some research on the chanting regarding cognitive development. And they've seen that the chanting helps to improve cognitive values. The chanting helps to improve the attention span of the learner. And low grades are due to low attention span. Yeah. So, if you, I remember some years ago, I conducted some research also amongst undergraduate students. Before they were chanting and after, the time they were chanting, the difference in terms of their grades. And all of them mentioned that the time they were chanting, their grades improved compared to prior to their chanting. So, but then, if you don't have the scientific know-how, and you tell somebody chant and be happy, well, they can tell you, I'm happy. What would you do? Yeah. And so, in most cases, children, they're like materialists. They want to hear something that they will benefit from what you ask them to do. I remember I was in Delhi, and I was in a home we were in a home program with a couple. They are aspiring to take a decision from me, and so we were there. But then they have two kids. The boy just finished his masters in some IT field, and then the girl, she's doing a PhD in quantum mechanics. So she was there. She wasn't chanting at the time. She was there in the home program. So after the presentation, as a scientist, they are the same thing like children. They want to know, what is it? What is it am I going to gain? What am I going to gain from this? So she asked Maharaj, what is in there in the chanting? In other words, what will I gain? People in general, they want to know what they're going to benefit from. There are people who are not so advanced devotees that they want to chant for the sake of attaining Krishna Prema, pure love of Krishna. So if we also are equipped with the scientific basis of the benefits, not that someone is chanting because we want to be happy. The happiness or the bliss is just a concomitant factor with the chanting. Concomitant is explained in this way. Say you have a child who likes to play with a car tire. Now when you buy, say, a Ferrari or a Tesla, it comes with a spare tire. You don't need to go and buy a separate spare tire to give your child to play with. That the tire is a concomitant factor of the purchase of the car. You don't have to go and bargain for it. You bought the car, it comes with a spare tire. So when people chant, there are side effects of the chanting. The purpose is to attain pure love for Krishna, but the side effects are not solicited. Unsolicited side effects. It's like when you have to undergo a chemotherapy, you have terrible side effects sometimes. You lost your ears and all this type of stuff. So the chanting is also an intervention. It is a spiritual intervention, and scientists have come up with reports that one of the side effects is that it promotes high attention span, which enables high grades, better performance on the job, high productivity, and all the rest of them. The chanting, one of the side effects of the chanting is also that it helps to minimize our vulnerability to dementia.
In America, dementia is such a common thing for older folks. So this is not, it's not like a philosophy or a dogma. It's science. It's not that I believe and you don't believe. It is science. And it's not just science, it's a quantitative research report. Quantitative research reports are generalizable anywhere in the three worlds. You may not generalize a qualitative research result, but a quantitative research is generalizable anywhere. And the people who are conducting this research and bringing up the reports, they are not shaven-headed swamis. So you may say, oh, you must be biased. Yeah, Hare Krishna, nah? No, they are not. They are not. So you can't bring in the question of bias. And so we need to understand what we have. So yeah, people similarly don't pick up the interest because they don't know the value of the reading. Now, the reading helps us to have the appropriate purification that we need. It's just like doing puja work, puja service. Whether I like it or not, you get in contact with the deities, you get purified. So the reading, Bhagavad Gita is not different from Krishna, which is the assertion of Lord Vishnu in a conversation with Lakshmiji in the Gita Mahatmya. So we have all of this scientific information and we need to imbibe it so as to be able to disseminate it. So yeah, people in most cases don't know what they get, and if you don't explain to them scientifically, but for instance, the chanting is difficult. See, I conducted a research on 2021. I had presented at the World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology in London on how chanting helps to prevent financial fraud. Financial fraud. Oh yeah. And you could Google that on the web. You could Google that on Google Scholar. Sonic therapeutic intervention for preventing financial fraud. Epidemiological study. Sonic therapeutic intervention, that means that is chanting. That is management scientific terminology of chanting. Because the people that are management scientists, they are not religious people. You cannot tell them who chant Krishna's names. But when you use the same words, their own words, Prabhupada said, use their own tools to break their teeth. Use their own mortar to break their teeth. And then, the research was published. It got, again, the best presentation award. And then it was published in the International Journal of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. Not Journal of Religion, not Journal of Philosophy. International Journal of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. Now, that work has been translated also into Russia, and so it's also in the form of in the Russian language, so it's radiating in Russia even right now. Someone is translating it into Dutch. Someone has just finished translating it into Hindi, which I had to review that. So the motivation for me to do that research was when Prabhupada visited Chicago sometime when he was on the planet, a police officer came to Prabhupada and asked him, Swamiji, what can your movement do to reduce crime? And Prabhupada said, if everybody chants the Hare Krishna mantra, crime will go down. So I followed up with that impetus and went into the nitty-gritty of the scientific approach using a phenomenological design and conducted the research. And within 2 years, listen, Within 2 years, I went to that website, the World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology website, and I noticed 708 professors had downloaded that publication. In other words, 708 professors were romancing with Krishna's holy names. And these are people you cannot meet on the road. You don't find them on the road. So, another value added is that we should see how we are training our children to go to the top of their desired professional development. Then we can catch the people, the high profile people. Because the high profile people, you don't see them on the streets. When you do your harina, you don't see them on the streets. They're not hungry, they will not come to you for free food. Okay. So we should also target how to spread this mission amongst high profile people. And I was in the Caribbean, and one of the countries I went, the Attorney General of the country is an initiated devotee and is a female, a woman. The Attorney General of the country.
Which country?
Suriname. Yeah. I was so much impressed and enthused by that. You know, I shared that message. I was sharing that message with, one of my aspiring disciples in London. She just finished her master's degree in law, and then she said, "I will also become Attorney General when the time comes." So, yeah, we should groom our children, we should motivate our children, and we should stop telling people to become mediocres because of devotional life. We should stop instigating mediocrity in our communities. There's nowhere in the scriptures where it says, once you're a devotee, you have to become a mediocre. You see, Bhakti Swami forced me to go and get a PhD. My Guru Maharaj. He told me to go and preach to professors, and in 3 years I have my first 25 publications in peer-reviewed journals. And he said, "Hey, Vasudev, just go and get a PhD." It's called talent management. Expert guru is an expert talent manager who unleashes the potential of the disciple fully for productive Krishna consciousness. So we should think about how to groom our children in ways that they could come to help in redirecting a misdirected civilization in the 21st century. So thank you for your question. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
I was thinking that based on the nature of the person, they can be more Brahminical nature where they want to read scriptures and do preaching, versus more of Kshatriya nature where they want to advance their career. And so based on the nature, it should be decided, not enforced upon someone.
Sure, that is it. Based on the inclination of the child, yeah. We can't make everyone a Pujari. Yeah. The parents have to be very careful on how they're grooming their children and helping them to grow.
Yeah, another point I had was one, as you were mentioning, that Hare Krishna mantra helps you perform better in school and better at job. But we can argue that Hare Krishna mantra also leads one to detachment, where they can think that what's the point of me spending all this time in material affairs? Ultimately, I have to chant more and read more scriptures and preach, do service to Krishna. So they can become more detached from their work or school life. So how do we balance that?
I'll tell you a brief story. So I was in India recently, and then I was in one temple. So there was a boy who used to come to clean my room, the guest room, so I do some services and all these things. So the devotees in that temple, listen, the president has a PhD in science from Scienceville. His wife is a scientist, a surgeon, a young lady in her early 30s. The vice president has a PhD in some science field. The chief pujari has a PhD in some science field. The chief cook has a PhD in some science field. There is a small temple. India has gone a while, far, far beyond what anybody else in ISKCON can think of. And this is even not known to the global society of ISKCON. I used to visit that temple because all those guys, they're my friends. And so this boy who used to come to serve me, those devotees, they told me, Maharaj, this guy is not serious with his studies. You better talk to him. We see he's coming to you. Maybe if you talk to him, he will improve. So one day this boy came, so I told him that, listen, I know your plans. You're coming here to do some service, and the next moment you will say, Maharaj, can you give me initiation? I said, if you don't struggle hard to have high grades so that you go for your master's, no initiation. So the next time I came there, they told me, oh, he has improved a lot in his academic performance. Yes. So it's just the environment and how the individual perceives the environment around them. If you are in an environment where your parents are pushing you to go to the temple, you can have the advantage. But if you are living in an environment where you are interested in devotional life, but your parents said, no, you must eat non-veg. I mean, I got a mail through my website from one boy. He's in second year in the university. And I just felt pity for him. But what can I do? So all that I could tell him was, see, the practicality, you're living with your parents, they don't want you to rise above them, they want you to become a meat eater like one of them, because if you become a vegetarian, it's like you're superior to them, they will feel uncomfortable. And your mother says you will not cook anything else for you, you must eat. What is the loss if you have to cook a less expensive meal for your child? Tell me. What is the loss of the mother? But it's just the way that some parents just want to exercise their control, or even envious of their own children. Most cases, because of envy. Because what is the loss? The vegetarian meal is less expensive than the meat. And then the boy said, Mom, I don't want to eat the meat. You must eat the meat. Yeah. So, some children are really passing through heavy challenges. And so the environment matters a lot. Therefore, it is important for us to take advantage of what is available at our disposal. We have a temple, we have a community of devotees. We should take advantage, have good association, and grow in our devotion. Because some people don't have this opportunity. Some people want to become part of you, and the parent says, no. You're in college. He's above 18 years. He can call the police and put the parents in big trouble. But some of the kids are very humble. But then he's overstepping our boundaries with our children. And so we don't supposed to really force unnecessary things on our children. The child, according to the United Nations, the child has a right of choice. He's not carrying the gun to go and kill somebody. He says, I don't want to eat this. You're a loving mother. Why not you cook what your child wants to eat? Yeah, sometimes it could be unfortunate. Yes, any last comment or question? Yes.
So that Maharaj leads to another question, because sometimes we are not able to respect other people's inclinations, because we are inclined to certain kinds. So if somebody wants to study or work or do things for Krishna, we kind of tend to judge or talk. So how do we overcome that?
It's a nice point. One of the ways that we could overcome that is to recognize that there is an abuse. There's an abuse. And I've seen children who have been victims of that. I know of a case of a child in the university. She comes back home, and the parents don't allow her to chant. And so the mother wakes up in the dead of night. She goes straight to the girls' room to check. And if she's not on her bed, she knows she must be hiding in the bathroom chanting. So she goes to break the bathroom. This is not Puranic story. So it's unfortunate. But first we have to recognize that our action is not being fair to the other individual. It is even a crime. It's an abuse. If the child goes ahead, or the person concerned goes ahead to report to the cops, we could run into problem. Yeah, so we need to respect the fundamental rights of each and every individual. If we don't do that, how are we going to respect the laws of nature? That we don't have anyone policing us. So how to overcome that is to first recognize that it is not healthy. This is going to create a terrible retributive wave for us in the future. And when we do understand, now, is what we call consequentiality mindfulness. We have to imbibe a culture of consequentiality mindfulness. We know that what I'm doing is going to backfire, is going to give me some terrible reaction because I'm abusing somebody. I'm abusing someone's rights. If we recognize that, that can give us a sense of retracing our steps, retracting our steps from that path of abuse. There are so many ways to abuse somebody. And that is one fundamental way. And some people, they struggle with that a lot. I remember also the case, I don't want to mention the country, but that was not in the US, not also in India, in another country. There was this girl who was doing mechanical engineering, doing a master's in mechanical engineering. No, she was studying undergraduate, mechanical engineering, because the older brother did his master's in mechanical engineering. But she was very much interested in Krishna consciousness. So she was trying to practice to doing the chanting, but the mother was very, very antagonistic. The older brother was very, very antagonistic. So the question is, why? Just for whatever reason, the mother said, no, you cannot chant in this house. The brother said, no, you cannot chant in this house. And they beat up this girl. If she chants. And then she learned a great peace for her to go ahead and finish her degree. She stopped chanting. To please the mother, to please the older brother. And then, as she stopped chanting, within a few weeks, there is a driver who comes to pick her to school every day. A male driver. This is a beautiful girl. A male driver, the mother arranges for this person to pick the daughter to school every day, to go and drop her on campus. And then one day she wrote me saying, Mara, what is happening with my life? I said, what is happening with your life? He said, I am now lusty after this driver. He said, this person has been driving me to college, to come, dropping me every day for the past 1 year. What is happening to me? She was being sexually attracted to this driver. So I asked her, are you still chanting? She said, no. She said, stop chanting. She explained all of these details. But how the mother and the older brother, two of them, were stronger, physical strength, they would beat her up because she's not chanting. I said, so what you do, lock up yourself in your room, don't show them that you're chanting, and go back to the chanting and see whether this helps in checking this lust. I said, get back to me in 2 weeks. And within 4 days, she wrote back to me and said, the problem is over. Okay. So, a number of things that we can be protected from getting involved in is truly chanting. So we should understand. We let people do what they deem appropriate in as much as it is for their benefit, for their acceleration, to promote their well-being, instead of showing that I am in control. No, you cannot do that. No, you cannot do that. This is my domain. I am in charge. I'm in charge of you, okay? Just to show you that I'm in charge of you, you cannot do this in this house. You cannot chant in this house, period. Any last comment? Okay.
All right. Thank you for bringing these issues up. Because most cases we see that most abuses are found in religious institutions than any other institution. We have our experiences in the Christian world, the Islamic world, also in Christian consciousness. We've seen these things in the name of wanting to protect people from Maya, or wanting to encourage people to become Christian conscious. And then so many things, so many bad things come in between these kind of situations. Anyway, as much as possible, Christian consciousness, as you've been talking and preaching, should encourage more of this understanding, so that at least people should be given a free hand to choose to love Krishna. Because in most cases, sometimes we want to force people, to love Krishna. And it creates a negative effect or result in doing that. But we've seen even some places, some religions, if you want to do something a little bit outside of what they propose, they will assassinate you, they kill you. I've seen that. In Islam, sometimes in our places, if you want to reject, they assassinate you. They will kill you because they want to change faith or something like that. Even in Christianity, sometimes they deny you work, they deny you opportunities, they deny you so many things because they don't want to participate in this. So we should also see that it doesn't come to Christian consciousness as much as possible. We should continue to encourage this as well.
Thank you. All right, I think we have to adjourn this meeting. Any opposition or any support?
They say hi.
We need just one support and then we'll adjourn the meeting. Okay, supported. Srila Prabhupada.
Because there's Bhakti Maharaj.